Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, friends. Here we are. We're back.
Back in the studio.
Back in Brandon's bedroom. You've rearranged since we've recorded, I think.
Well, maybe we've recorded one since. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Maybe not.
It's been a minute.
My brain does not work like it once did.
Well, now that the Adderall doesn't work. Have you been seeing those videos about people taking the tests and then
I've been seeing them for months, and I'm curious.
We should get a test.
I get tested, I think, for drugs when I get my Adderall, but I don't know.
I don't know.
They never show me the results. They just say, you're good.
I don't think I get tested for drugs.
Well, I think legally you have to once a year.
I don't know. Anywho, what's new with life?
Not much. My Botox kicked in.
Oh, look at you. That's crazy. How did it feel? You were nervous.
It felt like a tickle. It felt like someone just like dusting my forehead with tickles.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them I felt, like right here under my eye and like right here on my forehead.
It's like you can't go crazy, Brandon. You look really nice and youthful.
It worked really well. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier.
I don't know what I would do to my face. I don't really have that much of a crazy wrinkle anyways.
No.
Anywho.
You're gooch.
Yeah, life's been kind of dumb. But, that's life anyways. I think people feel me on that.
Okay, have you heard of April theory?
April theory? No.
Okay, so it's always been something I've thought about, but I just got validation on the encyclopedia TikTok. So everyone has like seasons of trauma, right? And mine always seems to be in April. Like if something bad's going to happen to me, break up, lose a job, like fall into an endless pit of depression, it's going to be in April.
Yeah.
Like almost every single bad event of my life has happened in April. Fortunately, I got through this April unscathed to my knowledge. Overworked?
Yeah, it was like, I think I can think of a lot of ranty Snapchats I've gotten from you.
But
you lost your ID.
Okay, I did. Okay, the worst happened is I missed my flight because I lost my ID. Cool. I can
How
take
was
that.
You were at was it bachelorette party in Disney World?
It was fun. A lot of fun. Too much fun. Too much money.
Too much money.
Could have definitely had equal amounts of fun and spent lots of less money.
Yeah.
Any other locale.
Oh my God.
But anyway, April theory is like this theory that everyone in life has these things befall them in April, and like they can't figure out. Well, I didn't research it too much, but like you will typically have your season of trauma in April. It's called April theory. We should look it up more.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
You do have an update on your house situation.
Oh, the basement flooded.
Yeah. And then you guys have all these weird things to get rid of the mold.
Yeah, we've had, they took away the air scrubbers today, so you didn't get to see them. They look like giant airplane engines. And they just sit and they go, as they scrub the air. I don't know. Apparently it gets rid of all the stench, but didn't get rid of
like a massive dehumidifier?
No.
Industrial grade?
It just is like, it literally looks like an airplane. It doesn't have it doesn't like pull moisture out of the air. It just scrubs it.
I need that.
With a really good sponge. Well, it kind of does when you wake up in the morning. It's like, and you're like,
we're talking about something a little controversial, I feel like. I was kind of... Oh my God! I was looking away, so I didn't see Brandon go for the button. Scared the shit out of me. I was thinking earlier when I was writing down stuff and like researching, I was like, should we be talking about this? I don't know.
Of course we should.
I don't think anyone who cares would listen to the podcast anyways.
Yeah.
Anyone who would tell us that otherwise. So... Is the Aroid Craze dead or dying? I asked you when I showed up and you were immediately like, yes.
Absolutely.
So I actually went through, it was kind of, it was, I almost went through memory lane going through these articles of, I don't know, just people online talking about the millennial houseplant craze. and just like who they interviewed and whatnot. There was like something about like the Aroid show back in I think 2019. Just talking about how they're like, oh my God, so many people are into houseplants now. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
And then interviewing like Enid and how she was just like, yeah, I was just selling to like landscapers and like conservatories, and then all of a sudden a bunch of people are wanting me to ship plants to their apartment, and I'm like, oh my God. So it was kind of interesting, and a lot of these like Reddit threads and things are from like 2+ years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, when are like the dates of all
no
this?
one's really talking about it now. Like anything that people are posting now, it seems to be like a repost of old things. No one's talking about it.
Well, now
So
we
I don't
are.
know. Here we are. We're talking about it.
You're scholars in 2023.
So the thing is, I was thinking about how there's been a lot of like plant shops closing lately and how it's been really sad. And I was like, okay, a reality check though. There were so many house plant shops that opened up a couple years ago.
Mhm.
Not all of them were going to stick around.
No.
I mean, I know a lot of them that are shutting down now are ones that have been maybe open for like a decade or more. That's really depressing for me.
Well, I feel like a lot of places that have been really successful have been closing down.
Mm-hmm.
Like if people are being that successful and not able to sustain,
I know, it's like,
what does
what's
that mean
going
for the
on?
rest of them?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot in the Pacific Northwest, like Seattle area, shutting down. I don't know. We've had like a couple houseplant shops, like smaller ones, close in the last couple years, but like nothing big. I mean, we've just added more, I feel like, in the area.
Yeah. It's very weird. Minneapolis, I feel like, is a very houseplant heavy place where I am actually very surprised that the demand has stayed as high as it has.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have also noticed that a lot of local shops are finally coming around to having some of these like uncommon houseplants, but like 3 years later. And I think a lot of them are sitting around. They're kind of at those higher price points, and they're kind of like, "Oh my God, what's wrong? I thought
doesn't anyone want this?
People wanted these." I'm like, "Yeah, because I think a lot of, some of these plants, especially ones that people really wanted, were not ones that were being mass produced yet. These were ones being sold from like private collector to private collector. There wasn't like big greenhouses like growing them by the thousands or even hundreds. And finally it's kind of happening, and it's like, I don't know. I think people either don't have the money or they already got that plant and
I feel like
have it. They killed it already.
A big thing is like, this is like one of the few instances where small local business / people beat out the corporations, because like it takes time. Mm-hmm. But like the small people were able to distribute this much quicker than the big players.
Yeah, and local shops are also competing with online sellers. People are finally like, oh my God, you can buy houseplants online.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of waiting for it to come around cheaper, like locally, which sometimes it might not be cheaper locally, you can a lot of times.
I feel like a lot of times it typically is more expensive.
Because a lot of these shops are still buying from people that are selling them to these shops at around market price. So then these shops have to then mark it up like almost double. And that's why sometimes you see a crazy price point. So I don't know. I don't blame the shops, but I'm like, dang, you should, don't be afraid. I mean, even like coming from someone who works at a plant shop, there's times where we see some cool plants and you have to say no. Because like, oh, what people will and will not buy.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to be like, okay, we're not going to order those, or we're not going to keep those. They're not, like, it just doesn't make sense.
No. And that's the thing too. It's like there's only so much you can have.
You can't have every plant. I mean, there's a lot of trendy plants right now. It really depends on the volume or the size of the plant shop.
One thing with like trendy plants becoming more common and cheaper is, I'm wondering, with like the common plants that have kind of been the staple for the last 40 years, I'm wondering how as the prices and availability increase of other plants, like what's going to happen to like the like our crotons? Well, I'm sure they will because people put them outside, but like, for example, what's going to happen to crotons in 10 years?
I don't know. It's like I saw a Reddit thread of some people complaining in like an orchid group, and they're like, "Oh my God, can you believe all these aroids? All these shops are now catering to these aroid people, and I can't get my orchids." But there's just so many aroids. It encompasses so many of the common house plants. They're always going to be around.
I just found out ZZ plants were an aroid like 2 days ago. Not just like
it's weird. Even those, like, it's just such a typical plant. It's the one that's always at the shopping malls, out in the like hallways and shit.
Out in the Mall of America, there's about 4,000 ZZ plants.
So there's just some of those plants, like, even, I mean, a lot of them are fake and stuff on like movie sets, but like watching old shows reminds me of how like plants have always been around and they will continue to be around. So whether people like them or not, but I don't know. I've been thinking for a while that houseplants are going to become a more, like, it's become such a common hobby and just so many people just have like a few. They don't really think about them much. They don't think of themselves as like a houseplant person. It's just like a decor thing for them.
And I thought about this the other day because one of my coworkers was talking about how they only had a couple plants. And I was like, "Oh, how many do you have?" And they're like, 17. And I'm like, back in the day before I got into house plants, if I would have had 17, I would have been like, "Oh my God, that's so many." But now that's like a casual number to have.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's like a tasteful number to have. And that's the thing too. It's like, I think it comes and goes with like aesthetic. Like, is it more like, sometimes people really like that maximalist look, that look of abundance when you see it on Instagram, that packed apartment full of plants. Some people like the more minimalist look. Sometimes that looks more expensive, more elevated. You just have a few beautiful plants that are thriving.
You'd think I would be that way with the bougie, expensive taste I have, but instead I'm like, "More, give me the garbage. Throw it everywhere."
It's addicting. It's so it's hard to not want everything. But I was thinking that I'm hoping at some point houseplants, like having like indoor houseplants, will become like an aside to like gardening. Like, if you say, "Oh, I really like plants and like having plants," people will ask, "Oh, like indoor or outdoor?" Similar to when you're like, "Oh, I like skiing," and they're like, "Oh, do you like water skiing or snow skiing?" I want houseplants.
That's such a good analogy.
I want houseplants. I want plants to be like, "Oh, are you like a gardener, like outside, or do you have a lot of indoor houseplants?"
Because when people are like, "Oh, I love plants," and then I'm like, "Oh, really?" And then they're like, "Begonias," but like
they're
the
like, "Oh,
outside
I love my
begonias.
Herbs. I love my herbs."
Carrots.
"Oh, I love my tomato plants." I'm just like, we're not the same. Not the same. I'm sorry. But it's the economy too. I mean, I don't have the extra money that I had to buy extra plants. You know, people had that stimulus money.
That steamy wimmy.
And they're buying a bunch of plants. Or as Mitch McConnell said, we were flush for cash. And just buying so much. Oh my God, it's so funny. You're like Manjula Pothos.
These need to be moved or trimmed.
Yeah, you need to trim some of them.
Like, I am fully in.
Well, that literally only has like 3 or 4 strands. You need to like wrap them around the top or like pin them down.
I was going to move the disco ball neon pothos, but then I realized that there's one sprout that I put up there, and I was like, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, nope, I don't have time for
all over
this.
The place. Even your Nepenthes is just trying to go everywhere. Poor thing.
It's been putting out some cute little pitchies.
Yeah, and it looks dry as hell.
Okay. I water it like 5 times a week. It needs, I don't know what it needs.
You probably need to repot. Look at how small that thing is. I've been having to do so many repots lately, and I'm like, oh, dang.
I did order a shit ton of amendments and soil to make.
I'm about to run out. I run out constantly now. I'm trying to pack the grow tent.
It's going to be an outdoor project on a beautiful sunny day. It's not going to be an in this room project.
You're waiting for that sunny day. It wasn't too bad today. The sun was out.
I know, but I was at fucking work.
Let's talk about pricing now versus then.
I do.
some plants.
Remind me if I forget. I do have a topic, a very controversial topic to add that is incorporated in this controversial topic. But
why don't you just talk about it now?
no.
Okay, are you going to remember
You already. That's why I told you.
Like,
you are my keeper.
I have to wait till later. Are you going to remember what it is?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I don't know if I'm going to remember.
Viewer, be prepared. It's gonna be a spicy one.
we better not be disappointed.
So you better stay till the
you
end.
and me listening. We better not be disappointed. So pricing now versus then. I was even like some of the comments I was reading in some of these threads. People that were like, I can't believe how expensive some of this stuff is now. Used to be able to buy a whatever the hell for like $18, and now they're like $3,000. Blah, blah, blah. In some of these articles that were mentioning the spirit of sanctity and how they're like thousands of dollars, and they're like, it's such a
bing bong.
Maybe I should name my spirit of sanctity Bing Bong. I just got a nice new plastic.
Mine can be bing and yours can be bong.
Okay. This is bong.
Madam Bong.
Oh my God, your poor work, we had
I don't want to talk about it. It fell off the shelf. Did I tell you that?
No.
It tumbled from that shelf.
Did you see Tyler's
You did tell me, but
the Patricia?
I've refused to look into it because I didn't want to see that horror.
It wasn't too bad, but his big lady took a tumble, and a couple of the leaves got shredded just slightly, and I was like, "Damn, that sucks." That's something I'm gonna think about forever.
Oh,
You can kind of see it in some of those bigger leaves. It's like
that is
depressing.
One of my favorite plants I've ever seen in real life.
Yeah. So do we have like an emotional attachment to this plant? I was like, no, not her, not her. Just say it ain't so. Oh my goodness gracious. But anyways, what's a plant that now? Okay, pink princesses are popping up everywhere. Even soderoys, philodendron soderoys are popping up. People are finding what else? Even like white princess, white knights at like their local like grocery stores and
I will say
stores.
Some of the pink princesses that I've seen that are like, like the 3 foot tall ones that are at big box stores, they're gorgeous.
Some of them are kind of getting pretty.
I would purchase one. I mean, mine looks like shit. Where is it?
I don't know.
It used to be over there.
I don't even know if I have one anymore. I may have banished mine. All of them. Okay. But if I found a pretty one that was cheap, I would go for it.
For real, where is it?
That is a good question.
I don't know. I don't think I took it out of my room. This is very peculiar.
It's hiding somewhere. Around.
I'll find it someday. Oh, it's in there.
What?
It's in that mess.
In here?
Yeah.
My God.
Because it was like, I think it was getting too much light, so I was like, we gotta lower this light.
Lower this lighting situation. Yeah, I have to do that quite a bit sometimes. Things start to get tall, and you're like, okay, we gotta pull it back here. It's kind of funny though. So there's like this big aroid craze now, and we think about. I mean, this is not the first time that people have been obsessed with houseplants. There was the Victorian fern craze.
Not the fern craze.
Back in the 1800s.
In England.
Mm-hmm. I found something online that said the craze was so notable that in 1855, writer Charles Kingsley coined the term, I don't know how to say that, pterodomania, PT.
Pterodomania. It's like a pterodactyl.
Referring to fern collecting young girls whose fashionable new hobby was, in his opinion, more agreeable than duller, less intellectual pursuits like crochet, gossiping, and Berlin wool embroidery.
Oh, the patriarchy.
I was like, I would love all those things. What a dickhole. But yeah, and then that era, we see monsteras all over the place now, just like that, like happening now. This fern craze inspired things like architecture, literature, decor for years to come. Craziness. So I don't know. Houseplant like crazes, I guess, will come and go. People always love plants. They're always going to be around.
They just be planting it up.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think I'm always going to keep them around. There's some people, obviously people's grandmas that have had plants for decades.
This might feed into a good transition into my topic.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
And maybe it is on that list. I don't know. But just the...
Cringing.
How do I word this? The admission, whether directly or indirectly, away from plants from people.
What? What are you talking about?
So there's just the average collector who's like, I'm not into plants anymore. I'm giving up all my plants, buy my plants. To people who make a lot of money off of plants who are now like transitioning away from plants. Just everyone is. I feel like we are like two of the not purists, but like, you know, we're ride till we die.
Okay.
Where I feel like a lot of people are not.
They're like, they don't care about their plants forever.
Like, I feel like a lot of people got into plants and they were just like, I fucking love plants. They're going to be my life.
Like,
all
it was
about
just
plants, plants, plants. And now here we are in 2023. And are you still into plants?
Is this supposed to be a call out to people?
No, this isn't a specific call out. I've just seen it a lot. And it just honestly kind of brings me more joy than it should.
You like when people aren't into them anymore?
Yes, because it makes me feel accomplished and like I care
like,
about
are you
something.
Thinking specifically like influencers that like dedicate a bunch of time.
There's a
like,
large portion of influencers who I think are in the plantfluencer to other type of influencer pipeline. And I, don't get me wrong, I may be guilty of that, but that is
makeup stuff.
But that was by accident. That was not by choice.
Okay.
I'm always going to return to my roots.
Mm-hmm.
Wink,
Have you
wink.
posted a plant video on TikTok recently?
I haven't posted anything on TikTok recently. You know, I'm just working for the man constantly. A single mom who works two jobs.
Speaking of working for the man, I got my last paycheck from working at my dad's company. So now I'm like free balling it.
I forgot he was just like, wash my hands. I don't want this anymore.
It was we always knew it was going to be a temporary thing. And now it's like for realsies. I'm like on my own, just making money on doing houseplant stuff.
And I would say,
and you know, it's not one of those things where people are like, oh my God, I'm finally like, if people years down the line are going to be like, how did you know that it was time to make this decision? I didn't. I was thrown to the wolves.
I will say, I feel like you're a social media guru. But not just for yourself, which is a real impressive part, because I can barely do it for myself. And you do it for a lot of other people.
I do edit videos for other people.
I could never.
It is like, it does make it hard to like go then want to do my own videos. I mean, I don't like hearing my own voice anyways. But I do feel a bit more accomplished when I post my own videos on TikTok, even though I actually make more money when I do videos for other people because they're actually paying me. Did you hear that Instagram/Facebook is not paying for that bonus thing anymore?
Yeah, I finally am about to hit 10,000 followers, and guess what? No coin for me.
You know what? I'm so annoyed because like that was an extra like almost $200 a month.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Like it was like actually like paid way more than TikTok did. And I was like, come on, like that's rude. Don't do that shit.
That's wild.
So if you want to pay me, hit me up.
It's because I really do think that TikTok's going to get banned. I don't think it's going to.
No, I don't think it is either. It's not something like no. I'm not sitting down to make a video like, oh my God, can you believe this, guys?
We can't be ourselves on Instagram. Are you kidding me?
I try my best, but I think Instagram feels like that place where you're like that'll mental health matters, but like not if you're going crazy. like Instagram's like, oh my God, yes, like self-care, but like, oh my God, you haven't showered.
Self-care,
You
if
haven't
it's
showered in a
cute.
week. That's gross. Like, oh my God, it's difficult for you to brush your teeth. That's nasty. TikTok, you can be yourself, except people are very mean in the comments on TikTok. It's kind of ruthless.
I've, again, not had that much like bad comments on.
Me neither, but do you see other people's comments?
yeah.
I'm a serial comment reader, and oh my God, people are
It's
so mean.
honestly kind of crazy.
And I feel like it makes me mean. I'm starting to like see things, and then I'm like, I wonder if anyone commented. Oh, yep, they did. Yep, they're thinking the same thing I was thinking. Horrible.
Well, I love the newer feature where you can like when you go to the comment section, it shows like a recently searched term for that video.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. It just makes the sleuthing so much sleuthier.
I'm like, yep, let's go right to this search. Let's see what we're talking about. Oh my God. Well, speaking of Instagram, I think a lot of people are hopping off Instagram. They hate it. I mean, there've been so many random changes. People are sick of it. And I think a lot of the houseplant craze, y'all have to admit, is driven by your need to like feel superior to other people and be posting online about it. And if you're not doing it on Instagram, where are you doing it? You know?
OnlyFans.
Less to envy. Maybe people are less like, I don't know. They don't want to go and get all those plants because they're not really seeing people posting about them anymore because they're not online.
Well, are you
know.
a little creepy McCreeperson like me on Instagram specifically? I wouldn't do this on TikTok because like I have a vastly different audience on TikTok, but a lot of like new plant accounts follow me on Instagram, and they have like 100 followers, 4 posts, and they're like, I'm just opened a new shop. You buy my plants. And I'm like, okay, you're a little late to the game.
Starting it, I don't know. I would not be starting a plant shop now. I mean, I grow plants and sell them like wholesale because I don't want to deal with people. I will say though, it like makes my day when I like bring in a bunch of plants at PQ and like a bunch of people buy my plants like right away. Like there's like
what a treat.
Hundreds of plants there. I mean, I get paid either way for the plants, so it doesn't really matter if some of them sit there for weeks. But I don't know. I'm kind of picky with my plants. I take pride in my plants, my cute little plants that I bring in, and I like them. And I don't put them in any special spot. I just kind of mix them in with all the plants, and people gravitate towards them. And I'm like, oh, you like my plants? Yeah.
I think you're very good at curating a selection that isn't
fun plants. I feel like good at like growing a good looking plant. Like I started off well so that it's even, it's cute.
Yeah, you care way more than me. When I propagate a plant, it's just like bing bong.
I want it to,
bing bong.
I want it to look like good. Like it has to be something that like I would buy. So it's hard. So I have a lot of plants sitting around in my grow tent that I'm just waiting for them to like look good. And I'm like leaf after leaf. I'm just like, no, you could look better. Just a couple more. Come on. Especially the ones where like I propagate them from like a node, like a pedatum or something, and I have to wait for that shape to come in, or like my bipinfolium. They look so damn plain until the shape comes in, and I'm like, what the hell even are you?
Plain Jane.
What the hell even is this? Wait, do you know that sound?
Where's the button?
I do that. When they were like, Daddy, stop. And he's like, what the hell is even that? We need that.
Also, okay, so you know the cap cut where it's that guy yelling?
Yeah.
I started watching that show. It's called I Think You Should Leave on Netflix. It's half of it is super funny.
We need to get a fun like jury duty sound bite. Y'all, I came over. I was not feeling mentally well, and I came over to Brandon's on Friday night.
Yeah,
and we watched it from start to finish. And then the whole weekend, I was just seeing like jury duty interview TikToks behind the scenes.
Is one of the funniest shows I've ever seen.
I need to watch back through it because there's parts of it where we were not paying attention.
Yeah,
and that I definitely need to watch it again. It was goofy. I can't. But anyways, I think a lot of people are moving from the like, or have already moved from the like, collecting part of houseplants to like maintaining.
Yeah.
We're definitely in the maintaining. I mean, I'm not buying a whole ton of new plants. I mean, there's like certain like plant things that I get into that aren't like the aroids, like my pings. I love my pings right now. I'm definitely interested in getting more pings and experimenting with my pings.
I will say I have seen on the plant groups, not that I'm on them that often, but I have been seeing people being like, oh, this plant for sale. And I've literally never heard of it. It's not an aroid. It's not a Hoya. It's not a begonia. It's not a this or that. It's just like, cricket, digga, digga, da, da, da. And I'm like, what is that? I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, there's a lot of plants to be discovered. So, I mean, aroid or not, there's so many more things out there.
What if people were like, I've got a juvenile oak tree? People are like, oh my God, a variegated oak.
Some people do like try and look for like variegated, like sport variegated tree things.
It happens all the time.
Mm-hmm. People are crazy.
I grew up in the woods.
You know what I'm really excited about, y'all? They, I think, kind of pretty much legalized.
Oh yeah,
marijuana.
Did you see that post in the Minnesota Houseplant Collective? That was like, what is everyone going to do? Or like, is everyone excited to grow special plants when they become legal? And like, my dumbass read that and I sat there and stared at it and I was like, what plants?
You didn't get it immediately?
I was like, what are they talking about? No, and then it clicked and I was like, oh, and then I opened the comments and then I was like, wow, I'm an idiot.
Oh my God, I saw him go for it.
Yeah.
I'm watching Brandon's fish tank.
The fish tank is really great, and I need to figure out how to record better content of it because it does. My phone does not work. I think I need to set up my camera.
You need to make a little Instagram post about it.
Because it's a good looking tank. I need to get that algae out, but
it is a good looking tank. I like that it looks like a little mountain.
I know.
Oh my God, is that Cece at the door?
It's someone. I think it is Cece. I think I see her white little reflection.
Yeah, Brandon has
I think it's Cece and Cliff, and I think they're fighting outside the door. It's been World War III since we all live on the top floor now.
Yeah, they have to avoid the mold downstairs, letting it dry out. Do you know when they're able to go back down there? Are they like flooring? What's going on?
So we'll go down there. We'll take a tour later. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Oh, look, it's going for it again. Oh, shit, it just moved. I got some electric blue rams, and they are just decimating the baby shrimp population.
Yeah, they like go down to the little like bushy foliage Brandon's grown on the floor of the fish tank, and they dip downwards, and then they just go nip, and they just go get some. They just snatch it up. It's scary.
It kind of is. The first time I saw it, they were just like hovering for like 10 seconds. And I was like, what are they doing?
Yeah, like what are they looking for? These two pregnant people are staring at me. These two pregnant fish.
Those are red dragon guppies.
Little guppies. I want a big fat goldfish so bad.
You need an 85-gallon tank minimum for goldfish.
Okay, so how many, like for perspective, how many gallons is this?
That's 30.
85? You're telling me I need like multiple of this for a big fat goldfish?
Okay, I'm going to invite you to this Minnesota fish group because the drama that goes down in these comments, like, you know how like...
Oh, I mean, I believe it because I'm in a Bunny Facebook page. And
oh my God.
Anytime someone's like, hey guys, here's my setup. What do you think? Oh, it's World War III. Those comments. People are like, too small. This is torture. You shouldn't be a bunny parent. You should have two. Why do you have one? Oh my goodness. Don't feed them that much. Too much.
It's so good. And then you get to see like the really cool tanks. Like my tank is cool, but like there's ones that are like, they care. You know, they're like spending an hour a day making sure it's perfect. And I don't have that in me.
Yeah, so it's the thing where it's like their fish tank is their special interest and you just have it to have fun.
Yeah, this feeds the plants and I just want it to look good.
And that's how some people are with house plants. They're just like, I just want my house to look good, so I have a couple plants here and there.
Yeah.
I don't think about them much. I don't want them to be a hassle. If shit hits the fan, I'm going to get rid of it and get a new one. Start over.
What a treat. And those type of people, you know, they have good lighting.
Oh, yeah.
I live in a constant state of bad lighting. Am I ever in good lighting? No. No light. I live in the dark. I live in the cave. It's dripping. There's stalactites, stalagmites.
Literally.
So I fill it with plants to give it some joy.
I really want to like go down to like in a cave and like look at cool things, which I've done before. But now I'm so scared of the world. Like I'm so scared of that shit caving in. Now I couldn't do it.
I did go to this one in Arizona. It really freaked me out.
Have you been to the one in Wisconsin, Crystal Cave?
I think so, but I think it was closed when we went there.
I've been there so many times. It was one of those. So I was in daycare for a long time as a child. So it's one of the like go to field trips.
Because I remember like we got to go into like the little tiny entrance, but we didn't get to go in, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of a lot. It's really cool though. Except they take you to this one part where they're like, okay, we're about to like turn all the lights off so that you're in like the dark.
No.
And it's just black, like darker than you've ever seen. It's scary. And I'm like, can we not do this? Like, can we turn the lights back on? I hate it. Then they have this cool penny room, like all these pennies in the wall.
How are they in the wall?
Because the walls are like made of clay or some shit.
Oh.
So you can stick them in there, but they don't let you do it anymore because it's something about the integrity of the walls now. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's going to collapse. The cave we were in, they were like, okay, and here we go. We're doing a whole laser show because it was this giant fucking cavern underground. And I was like, this is too much.
Yeah, this one like took you into an elevator down into like the something else. And you're like underground. It's scary. And they tell you the story about like how they found it and how like some dude like fell into this hole, and they show you like where they take the little like flashlight and they're like, here's, you can see where he like slid down, and then like him and his brother like discovered all these caves.
Can you imagine
Terrifying.
falling into a hole, into a pit, into a cave?
Scary. It's scary. It's a lot. But it's really cool. I want to go there again, but I did need to get over my fear. Anyways, let's talk about cool plants that aren't aroids. I mean, I think you have mainly aroids.
Yeah. But the Hoyas are Hoyaing.
They are.
Which
Hoyas
I
are
saw
doing
another
that.
Hoya that it was on one of the Facebook accounts, or not Facebook accounts, Instagram accounts, and it was for sale on their Etsy, and I went to their Etsy and I almost bought it.
You don't remember what it was? No.
It was a Hoya. It was a name that I've seen before, but not in a Hoya. You know, like how sometimes there's like...
Oh, yeah.
But I can't remember. It was very rumply. It looked kind of like that one on the top left. The Ishgandar.
Let me look at my wish list plants. I still want a Sigillatus, Bella variegated, Kengiana variegated, Latifolia, Snow Queen, Crassipediolata splash, Hoya Ganungading splash. I don't know how to say that one, but then Undulata.
Oh, it was on all the plant
Like
babies.
the S one, Hoya.
Sulawesiana.
Okay. I've really been wanting a little Oxalis Plum Crazy or a little Oxalis Palmifrons. Those are cute. A lot of fun peperomias that I want. There's fun pipers. So many fun things. Begonias. Cool carnivorous plants. I mean, y'all, the plants are endless. You don't just have to go for the aroids. So I think the house plant craze continues. There's still always new people coming into the plant shop on the weekends that are just like obsessed, or even people who they come in and they're like, oh my God, I've never seen an albo in real life.
Okay. I have a funny little story about a monster albo.
Oh.
So, see that little cutting right there
Yeah.
in the water?
Yeah.
It's just held up by a root.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a top cut, right? Because when I got my Botox, $600 of it was free. And I said, you know me, I can't just accept a free thing that was offered to me. So I said, let me bring a plant to the person who offered me this free $600 of Botox. And I go, oh my God, but I don't know this person very well. So I was like, are they like a plant person? I know they like plants, but are they a plant person or like a not plant person, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, shit, I'm like getting a lot of money of free stuff. I can't just be like, here's your pothos. So I was like, what do I do? And I was like, what's easy but like worth a decent amount of money? And I go, I think I got to do a Monstera elbow. But I was like, I don't think this person's super into plants, so I'm going to take the top cutting because it's super cute. Look at that. That's a really cute little top cut. So it has like 3 leaves, 3-leaf Monstera elbow. And I like bring it into my appointment, and I have to bring it into like this bougie ass clinic. It's like super fancy, living moss wall with products on it and shit. Like just it's very fancy. Of me in Edina, they're very great. I loved my experience there. I definitely would recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good. But so I didn't know what to put it in, and I was like, oh shoot, I need like a disposable bag. Didn't have disposable bags or like a reusable bag, so it's in a paper cub bag. I walk into the bougie aesthetics clinic with a fucking paper cub bag, and I go, here you go. And he definitely he pulled it out, and he's like, oh my god, thank you so much. And he's like, what care does this need? And I go, oh no, you're not a plant person. I just gave you like not a super expensive plant, but like a plant that a beginner probably shouldn't have.
R.I.P.
Yeah. I mean, it was well established, so.
Do you have the wah sound in there? Big guess. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Patrick, if you're listening, I love you and appreciate you, and I hope it survives.
You should have put that thing in pawn or something.
No, that for a non-plant person, are you kidding?
Yeah, they can just fill it up with water.
I don't know. We'll see.
Easy peasy.
When I get my touch-ups, I'll ask how it's going.
You're gonna keep going. Are you gonna get your lippies done?
I want to, but I don't know. It's just so expensive.
Someone on TikTok said that no one ever told them that you can't really close your lips all the way after you get them done.
Well, you have to do it right because there's, it's like this. It's like,
oh my god.
There's like little space.
Also, orchids. Orchids are fun. Non-aroids. And then ferns. Okay, y'all. Staghorn fern varieties. Let's get into the platyserum.
You're never going to forget that, are you?
No! I'm traumatized. I can't do it. Yeah, I want to get a bunch of fun ones and have them on the wall.
I do. Look at how big this is.
It is so big. It's in such a small pot, too.
Well, it is an epiphyte. It doesn't need a big pot.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. It is really nice. You don't have any crispy edges or anything. It looks so good. You should get a nice picture of it.
I should. It hasn't had a dead leaf in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps putting out new frost.
You got
oh my
new
god,
shield.
look at it.
Yeah, new baby shield. So good.
We should go to San Diego and go to this one nursery. They're known for their like 8-foot wide, like the shields are 8 feet across. And they have them on like these giant fences.
San Diego.
I don't remember what it's called, but it was so cool.
Can you believe we're going to be going to Houston in a couple weeks?
No, I cannot. I'm so excited.
We leave in like 2 weeks from tomorrow.
2 weeks from tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah, it's May, Brandon. We leave on the 17th. So
okay, 2 weeks and...
in 1 day, 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yikers.
Yeah, yikers. I'm scared. I hate flying.
Did you see, are you seated next to me?
Yes, I got seats next to you on both flights.
Blessed be the fruit. Mm-hmm. Did I do the middle seat?
I don't remember.
I think I did. Or like, I tried to arrange it so that it would be more likely for you to be able to get the seat next to me at a later date.
You did. You weren't sitting in the same. I think one of them you do an aisle, and one of them you do a window or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got it. I was like, thank God. I don't want to be like next to a stranger the whole time or have to be like looking at Brandon behind me like, I don't want to do that.
How long is the flight to Texas? I didn't even.
Probably like 3 hours or something. I don't know.
Anyway, we're going for PlantCon International.
PlantCon, come say hi. If you're in the area or happen to be wanting to go, I think you should go.
Yeah. Or if you're not in the area, you should get a ticket. Get on our plane. Mm-hmm. There's space.
Come down with us. A bunch of local people.
That would be so fun.
Fill up the whole plane.
Actually, it'd give me a lot of anxiety.
Never to meet up with everybody at the airport.
And then I'd be like, sorry guys, my ID's gone. I need to go home. Which I will say, Sun Country, if you pay the $15 to get like priority boarding, that means that you get your ticket fully refundable for $15.
What are we flying, Delta?
Yeah.
That's what I usually do. I think I did it with my Delta account. I'm accumulating miles.
Well, I found out I didn't have a Delta account, and I was like, what the hell? I know I've flown Delta. Why don't I have a Delta account?
Yeah, I have one. I don't remember why. But I was like, oh, I have 6,000 miles. Let me use them. No.
Don't you need like 30 or...
You need a lot more than that to redeem them. Yep.
That's why you need the Delta Sky Miles Visa. No, it's not a Visa, is it?
What is it? Should I do that? I don't like flying.
No, that's like, I don't like traveling. It dysregulates me beyond comprehension. So like everyone's like, oh, you don't have a miles credit card? And I'm like, no. I have cash back because I need to pay my bills.
I don't need fucking miles.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to work. God.
Oh my goodness. Aroids come and go. Houseplants are forever. That's our consensus.
The way you turned and looked into my soul when you said that.
Any last words, Brandon? You have like both those in your ear.
Oh my God, get away from me.
I want to see this fish give birth.
I know. It like literally looks like it's about to.
I just want to squeeze it. Brandon, where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me at Brandon Botanical on all social media platforms or brandonbotanical.com.
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest at Nicole Arson Grows. Hire me, pay me.
Did you start a lemonade?
What is that?
It's like a TikTok. It's their second app. I don't know. It's weird.
I can't. It's too much. Too dang much. It's too much. I can't do it. I can't.
Wait, what's the other one? The TikTok?
I don't know.
A Clapper? Yeah, I think it's called Clapper.
Am I supposed to start posting on YouTube Shorts now? I haven't even done that.
No, I need to get back on. I like YouTube. Anyway.
Bye.
We like you guys.
Have a good one,
See you
y'all.
later.
Be blessed.
Bye.